Okay. So in here, guys. Okay, in here, I'm going to go to Google. In the search, I'm going to type in LUT space UE4. Using lookup tables for color grading. I'm going to click that. I'm going to scroll down. You see here where it says color neutral LUT? Let's right click, save image as, and save that on the desktop. Color neutral LUT. Everybody do this because this is very useful for your levels, okay? So you're going to search for LUT space UE4. The first hit that you get, you're going to go to that site. You're going to right click and save the color neutral LUT on the desktop. Okay? Has anyone used lookup tables before? One person? Okay. If you haven't, have a look because they're very useful at doing a final post on your level. Okay. So basically what we're going to do here is we're going to take a snapshot of our level. All right? And just so that we can kind of visualize something a bit better, let's go into props in our starter content and let's just grab a chair and let's drag a chair into the map. And I'm going to grab my ground plane, which is a bit too small right now, and I'm just going to scale this up a little bit. Something like that. Select your ground plane, make sure it's set to movable. Select your chair, make sure it's set to movable. Okay, I just grabbed the chair from our starter content props and I just dragged the chair into the level. Now what we need to do here is we need to take a screenshot of our level. Okay? Now this can be done anyway. We can use the official screenshot tool up here to take a high resolution screenshot. I prefer to just take a quick capture of the screen. So look at my screen for a sec, guys. Just watch this. I'm going to go into the start menu. All right. One sec.
You can probably just search Snip.
Yeah.
Curious, why use snipping tool instead of just using an editor screenshot?
It's just a big screenshot. It takes a high resolution screenshot. And I don't really need a high res screenshot for it.
Alright.
Yeah, that's it.
I think there was an option for just regular screenshot, I think.
Yeah, you could use either. Doesn't really matter. I can't even search here.
If you hit it with your keyboard, you just, yeah.
So here, guys, I'm just going to type snip. And I'm going to find the snipping tool. I'm going to click new. And I'm just going to grab a region on my screen here. I'm going to do a file, save as. Save it on the desktop as scene before _01. I'll save that as a JPEG. Now let's go into Photoshop. I usually, to do this, I don't use a snipping tool. I use a tool called LightShot, which I think I showed you guys last semester. But basically, LightShot is a program that I recommend. It's a good program for just general productivity. It's really useful. I use it to basically take screenshots quickly. It's bound to print screen as my hotkey. And what I could do with LightShot is I can quickly paint over someone's screenshot, or I can quickly take a screenshot, and it has like just rudimentary like drawing tools, and it allows me to just like annotate certain things. I can copy things to my clipboard and then paste them into an email really quickly. So for something like this, I usually use LightShot because it's just really quick. You can bind snipping tool to a hotkey as well, but LightShot, like I said, it's free. And I use it a lot, and a lot of like almost everybody I know at work uses LightShot daily. So like they don't really use the snipping tool, but I'm sure snipping tool is great. It's just another lightweight tool that you can use, similar to like PureRef. I know we talked about PureRef a bit, but it's just another one of those cool productivity tools that you guys should look into. So here, I'm going to grab that screenshot, which is on my desktop, and I'm going to open that in Photoshop. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to go to my desktop and I'm going to grab this RGB table, and I'm also going to open it as a separate document. So I have two documents here. Okay, we've got two documents here. This LUT, I'm going to right click on this layer and I'm going to duplicate this layer into my scene before document. Now it doesn't matter where this is, so I'm just going to switch to my move tool. It doesn't matter where this thing is as long as it's on the canvas. So I can just move it off to the side here. As long as it's on my workspace, it doesn't matter where it is. So I'm just moving it off to the side. As long as, guys, don't put it too close to the edge. Just make sure that it's on your workspace. It's comfortably on your workspace. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm going to go down here to the bottom to an adjustment layer, and I'm going to add something like hue saturation. So add a hue saturation. I'm just going to close 3ds Max because it's kind of chugging my computer right now. So I have hue saturation here. So let's just do something kind of crazy with the color. Let's just kind of just punch up the color and just get something a bit, you know, weird looking with your colors. Okay, let's say that this is the look you're going for. Okay, look at my screen here. Holding Control, I'm going to left click on my thumbnail for the LUT. That way the thumbnail is selected. Look at my screen, guys. Look at my screen. Holding Control, I left click here. Not here. Not here, here. That way it highlights that layer. Then I'm going to go to Image, Crop. File, Save As. Save it on the desktop as a PNG. Call it scene after. And save it. Once you do that, just hit Control Z to just get back to this so that you don't, it's non-destructive. You're not kind of, you can always make some changes again. So guys, look at my screen here. All I saved was this additional scene after RGB. That's all I saved out. In UE4, in my sample content, I'm going to hit import and I'm going to bring in scene after. Double click on scene after. Double click on that LUT. Double click on it. Now you see how it's a bit pixelated here, right? Over here under texture group, let's switch it from world to color lookup table. Color lookup table. And then hit save. Okay? In the world outliner here, in the world outliner, I'm going to type post and I'm going to find the global post process. Select the global post process. In the settings here on the right side, under color grading, unroll global, turn on color grading LUT, and then drag and drop your texture. So look at my screen here. This is my Unreal scene. This is my Photoshop. So basically what this allows you to do is it allows you to do a final pass color correction in Photoshop of your overall global post and then assign it to your post-process volume. Now, we did something radical here with the colors, but it doesn't have to necessarily be that. You can just do levels. You can do a brightness contrast. You can just adjust your vibrance levels. You don't have to go crazy with, you know, altering the colors entirely. Right? You could just leave it as a slight pass filter in your scene. And then you can just toggle it on and off here. There's also the strength here of the color grading lookup table. Let's say you only want half of that effect, full on, full off. You have, this is the slider here that controls that strength. You can also bring in multiples. You can make, you know, a folder with different kind of looks for your level and then just swap between them if you'd like. You know, a lot of times if you're working on a level and maybe your level has the player taking damage, usually you'll alter the post-process effect so that it's, you know, maybe more red when the player's taking damage, or sometimes maybe more desaturated when the player is taking damage. You can alter the post-process, blend between different post values as well. While we're in here, another thing that we'll turn on, let's scroll down. Let's scroll down until we get to ambient occlusion. Let's turn on intensity and radius for ambient occlusion. I'm going to increase the intensity, and the radius is up to you. So look at my screen here. For radius, what radius does, I'm just going to turn off the post for a sec. So radius is going to control how wide or how tight that AO is going to be. So look at my screen. Look here especially. So this radius is going to control how wide or how tight that AO is going to be. Again, just an additional layer of ambient occlusion. Let's also go to screen space reflections. Turn on intensity, quality, and max roughness. Quality just go all the way up. And max roughness you can adjust to be whatever you want. So what this is going to do is this is going to say basically at up to this roughness level, display screen space reflections. So up to 0.6, for example, it'll display the screen space reflections. If I go to 1, that means all the way up to 1 roughness, it'll display some reflections. You can see here in the water, we got a bit of that screen space. Reflection. Okay, I'm going to pause the video here.